I wish I knew in my early 20s that I now know in my late 30s, okay? And for some context, I have an MFA degree in poetry. I've been creating art since I was a teenager. Mainly my mediums are words, sounds, and ceremonies. So I've acted, I've done comedy, I've rapped, I've done the musical accompaniment for dance pieces, you name it. First thing I wish I knew is that nobody is going to gift you the time to create, okay? You have to carve out that time for yourself, especially if you're socialized as a femme, because you're gonna put everybody's needs before your own. But one of the things that I always remember is that lovers come and go, but your ideas are your true companions. That doesn't mean you can't have a significant other. It just means you need to put your art up there with like the love of your life. It's gonna be there for you no matter what. And if you don't plant those seeds now, they're never gonna get planted, okay? Well, not only that, but a lot of people might see your light and want to sabotage it. And that's something that I experienced in my early 20s because I was just unsure and uncomfortable with like prioritizing that time. But some of the greats like Toni Morrison, they wrote really, really early in the morning, but a lot of artists write really late at night. So just find your time. Are you an early bird or are you a night owl? And figure out when you like to create, when you're most productive. Not productive for other people, but productive for yourself, for generating ideas, for having fun, for just like dipping your toes into that artistic flow. And prioritize that time by any means necessary. The second thing, which kind of relates to the first, is that there's no shame in having a 9-to-5, for real. Especially if you're working class. See, there's so much propaganda of this like rags to riches story of artists, but the vast majority of people in the arts world come from money. Like they have trust funds or like the people that you see. And that's one of the problems is because it's so difficult for people that don't come from means to be able to cultivate the artistic practice. So if you have to work as a barista, if you have to work as a construction worker, there is nothing wrong with that. I found that I really like to do jobs that support people and the planet. I was a teacher for a long time, but that might not be for you. You might want to do something that's completely different from your artistic practice. And that is totally fine, especially because it's really hard to even get grants. Because in order to get the grant, you have to be competitive for it. And if you have to have created work to be competitive. But how are you supposed to create the work if you don't have the money to create the work? It's just a vicious cycle that doesn't support the vast majority of people who are working class in this country. And the last thing, unless you guys want me to make another video after this, is that people are going to misunderstand you, like in complex ways. I underestimated how much people would misunderstand me throughout my life. People would project things onto me that had nothing to do with me. Maybe they were just jealous because I was courageous enough to create, even though I have to create because I'll literally go insane if I don't. And then B, people put me on pedestals in the past, which is really weird because I'm imperfect. So why put me on a pedestal? Honey, the most important thing is never misunderstand yourself. Know thyself.